This definitely is not a typical Danish cafe or coffee shop. And I think too many of the cafes that have opened the last 5 or 10 years in Copenhagen have basically all tried to imitate Starbucks or other chains. We have created a Danish, funky, baroque clash of styles and some modern design and so on. And I call it sort of like a mini Danish royal castle. It might not be that obvious, but if you look around, you will see an old Danish wallpaper in the ceiling. The chandeliers are made by an old Danish glass factory. The chairs are made by Fritz Hansen, the famous Danish furniture maker. The Danish smørrebrød, which means open-face sandwich, is a 300-year-old phenomenon. It's way back to when actually the poor people could only afford maybe to have one piece of bread or two pieces of bread and no butter. And then when they became a little more wealthy, they started to be able to put butter and meat and stuff like that on the bread. There's a procedure, how you start and how you end up, and what goes with what, and by layer and by color. So it's a piece of art. For me, it's one of the most beautiful types of food in the world. I felt that it was time for a change because smørrebrød, as you would have it served in various places in Copenhagen, is actually a very large piece or a very large sandwich. I just thought, why not just do it smaller? And why not try to put a little more of an artistic touch to it? Now, we have a school here in Denmark which has existed for many years, where they teach, it's a 3.5-year education where they teach the girls how to make smørrebrød. Today you could probably order maybe 300 different types of smørrebrød. So we just ended up with something we call smushis. We're breaking a lot of rules. And we're not only breaking rules in Denmark, but we're also breaking a lot of rules of the traditional way that we were taught to make this type of food. And we like that. We could say the traditional Danish salmon. On top of that, we would put some roe. We would cut a very beautiful apple flower, and maybe we would put some wasabi with that. Now, right there, we broke the rule. In Denmark, you would probably just have horseradish, but it's related. It just gives the contrasting color. We are using a lot of new creative ways of designing this smørrebrød. And we're also trying to incorporate some of the elements from the Far East as far as taste is concerned. Very shortly after we opened here, we were excited to see what the reaction was. And we knew that if the reaction was positive from the markets where Danish products traditionally are sold very well in the Far East. So we are opening up very soon in Singapore. We will, in the summer of 2008, open up in Tokyo. We're trying to see if we have time enough to do this, but we're going to open in Seoul, in Korea, and then we're moving on to Taipei. So this is what's planned at the moment. And we're doing this together with Royal Copenhagen and George Jensen and Fritz Hansen.